Well, here it is, me again on a Monday, and I kind of got upset last night, so I have 3 videos I'm hoping to get out today. This first one is just for Daniel Pratt. Uh, he just put out a notice that anybody that puts these false claims about globe and the stars, his comments are going to be deleted immediately. So what I get from that, and you probably think the same thing, is that he's going to make a video. The only people that can comment on it would be people that believe the same way he does, the same crap, and so anybody else will be deleted. You cannot disagree with him. What that gives is he is the almighty Word of God, and he can say whatever he wants to, and you must agree with it or you're gone. And I just think that's ridiculous. It's definitely the start of a cult. When the leader says, "Listen to me and only me," you begin to see a cult come out of that. So the thing I wanted to talk about, and I know that I'm beating probably a dead horse because I've talked about this a lot, is NASA. Daniel Pratt has this thing about NASA, and that's another little bee in my bonnet. I used to work for NASA, and I think that I have kind of an inside information about them. First of all, NASA does nothing that is secret or confidential. Everything is public information. You are allowed to request through the Public Information Act anything, any little thing that they do. Jeranism requested a video of the astronaut that shot a golf ball off into space, and they actually looked for it, made him a video, and sent it to him. Of course, we never saw it again after his request, but he did say that they actually sent it to him. So trust me, you can request anything. In the site where I worked, as I walked down the hall, there were racks with published papers that you could take a copy of. Just take a copy, take it home. It was free information. The second thing I want to talk about NASA is the budget. Again, you can go online on Google for any given year and look at NASA's budget. Anytime, no matter what, they make a list of what they've spent money on or what they would like to spend money on, and so you can look it up and see what it is. You have to understand that just like the U.S. Army or the Department of Agriculture, NASA's budget is controlled by Congress. Congress is the one that holds the purse strings. So when NASA wants to do something, Congress is the one that can veto things or change the budget or whatever. And so that's the way budgeting works in Washington, D.C. Uh, um, so one things I wanted to mention, people talk about the trillions of dollars that NASA spends, and let me assure you that it is not even close to trillions of dollars. Um, the entire budget of NASA from 1958 through 2021 is around $650 billion. That is a lot of money, but you realize that's 63 years. Uh, so, yes, they do spend billions of dollars, but it's nowhere near trillions. So get that 650 billion in your mind just for a moment. The first stimulus that the government sent out for us in 2020, and I'm sure Daniel Pratt loved his $1,200 that he got from the government. I never heard him complain about that. But that first stimulus cost the government $1.2 trillion. Now think about that. That's 2 times what NASA has spent in 63 years. And that includes the moon landings and all of the space shuttle program, the current satellites, the things that they've sent to the sun and to Pluto, and all these things is all included in that $650 billion. The last thing I want to say real quick is about manned missions. In the 1970s, NASA had about 4% of the federal budget, and that was trips to the moon with manned trips. And in its wisdom, Congress cut NASA's budget from 4% to 0.4%. Now you think about that, that's a 90% cut in pay. So you tell me, how many of you, raise your hands, how many of you would like to get a 90% cut in pay? Daniel Pratt, how about you? Would you like a 90% cut in pay? That's exactly what happened to NASA. After that happened, NASA had to find a way to cut spending drastically, and they decided that with advancements in computers and robotics, that they could get as much information from robotic instruments as they could from human trips, that it was incredibly cheaper to send a robot to Mars than it was to send humans to Mars. The rules or whatever for sending a person into space were much, much stricter than they were in the 60s. Congress was very strict about maintaining the safety of the astronauts, and so those rules were very strict. And the last thing is that the moon, they felt like they had gotten all the information that they could get from the moon. They had been there several times in different places. The regolith was pretty much the same stuff all everywhere. They just decided it wasn't worth spending a lot of money going back to the moon. And that's why that the moon landings were cut off in 1972. Um, those and basically when they cut off that moon landings, you can imagine there were space engineers, there was facilities, all of this uh, set to for moon landings that they didn't need anymore, and these men left to go get jobs elsewhere. Um, the facilities were repurposed for other things, um, and so all of that, all of that structure, all of that went away. And so, yes, they lost the technology to go to the moon. All these people, all these facilities, all of this stuff, all the money was gone. And it would be difficult to rebuild it, right? Then I thought of one other thing, but I guess we'll leave it there for today. I'm trying to get my anger out on these tapes. So we'll see you in the next one.